Now, President Biden is back to blaming Trump and MAGA Republicans for his national security and border crises, blasting them for the faltering border bill.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine, to make it clear to the American people that you work for them, not for anyone else. I know who I work for. I work for the American people.
Later, Peter Doocy pressed the White House over the president's blame game.
You guys talk a lot, including today, about how the border wouldn't be such a big deal if Congress would have just passed your immigration bill on day one. Who was in charge of Congress on day one?
We have said is that Congress has to act, right? Congress, Democrats, Republicans have to act. But in those 3 years, it is true that Republicans have gotten in the way. I mean, they voted. They've actually voted.
The first 2 years, no responsibility.
It has. I'm not saying that Democrats have not been in control the first 2 years. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying House Republicans have gotten in the way.
Such an agile verbal ballerina. So even though Democrats have been in control, it's still the GOP's fault? Pointing the finger at Trump and House Republicans over the failure of the Senate border bill seems odd when the administration has been claiming that the border hasn't been a crisis at all for the past few years. Remember this?
It happens every single solitary year.
We've dealt with this before. It is often seasonal. It is often cyclical.
The border remains closed.
We have seen extreme progress over these last few months.
What Americans should know is that the president has done the work to deal with what we're seeing at the border since day one.
There seems to be a lot of attempted gaslighting going on, Harris. At the end of the day, while the administration is changing their tune on whether or not it needs addressing, they're not changing their tune on it being somehow Trump's and the GOP's fault.
Well, it's a twofer because it's an election year. And by the way, brilliant on you. Agile, verbal, ballerina, which is so much upgraded from word salad. I mean, that was amazing, and it's so true. Look, it's an election year, and you've got to be able to do two things. You've got to take down your opponent and find a way to excuse while you've been deficient in fixing one of the worst situations that we've seen in a really long time in this country. So he's going to try to do that. Democrats are going to try to help him do that, and then they're going to shift and bring in some shiny objects like Obama and Clinton and hope that we don't all see the border. But we can't stop seeing it because we live in cities that are being overrun resource-wise and human-wise. You know, we're seeing the crimes. We're seeing, you know, this idea that our veterans don't get paid first in the bills and the budget's cut. So the reality is going to be really hard. He's going to need to do a threefer. He's going to need to do the, you know, hit us over the head with the magic wand and make us forget reality thing, too.
And you contrast that, all of that, Kayleigh, with the leadership expressed and really just embodied by Speaker Johnson last hour as we heard him simply on the fly talking to a gaggle of reporters. Now, rather than playing the blame game, gaslighting, freaking out, what he did was stand in front of reporters and he said, in answer to the question, what do you say to Americans who are sort of like, what are you doing with your time and are you getting anything done? He said, we are governing. He said, sometimes it's just messy, but rest assured, there are steady hands on the wheel. Now that is a capable leadership embodied.
Yeah, and House Speaker Mike Johnson's one of those steady hands. Do you remember I got to interview him and he was very calm amid the chaos of the multi-speaker vote because he believes in someone much greater than him guiding the way. So I have great faith in House Speaker Mike Johnson. Someone I don't have faith in is the president. I want to quote him yesterday. Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. That's not parody. That's not Saturday Night Live. That is something our president said, which no one believes. NBC, who do you trust to handle the border? 57-22, Trump over Biden. Biden is the arsonist who is trying to blame the firefighter. No. You're the arsonist, President Biden. You lit 94 executive actions on fire that destroyed the Trump border policy and in turn lit the border on fire. You're the arsonist here, ripping away Remain in Mexico, ripping away Title 42, ripping away the construction of the border wall. You're responsible. It takes such a level of self-delusion and arrogance to say, this is Trump and the MAGA Republicans who are stronger on the border than any movement or president in the last probably 3-4 decades, maybe even longer. But good, try that one. Try the self-delusion. May work in your mind, not going to work for the American people.
Now, Leslie, to Kaylee's point, so anyone can say a lie, but what doesn't lie are the facts. And as we have the facts here to show you, the number of migrants being apprehended at our southern border has surged dramatically since President Biden took office. 2.4 million under Trump and nearly 8 million migrant encounters so far under President Biden. So to Kaylee's point, doesn't it seem obvious that under one president, the fire was tamped down, and under another, flames are out of control?
I don't think it's that black and white. I mean, there are certain things. I mean, post-COVID, you have a lot of nations throughout the world that have gotten worse. Fortunately, the United States is not one of them. We keep getting better. We got hit, but we came back strong and will be stronger. That's not the case. So you have more people fleeing. Yes, Title 42, there is something to that, but there is also, that was also a measure for a time. COVID is over.
Remain in Mexico?
You can't have, remain in Mexico.
The border wall?
Remain in, may I finish? Remain in Mexico. Mexico doesn't want Remain in Mexico anymore. So Mexico is saying, nada, no mas.
So threaten them with tariffs the way Trump did.
No, we can't do that.
Threaten them with tariffs.
What we can
we've done it before.
What we can do, and what was not able to be done during the Bush administration, the Obama administration, even the Trump administration, the Biden, every administration, is Congress has to pass a multifaceted
Trump didn't need
immigration
that.
comprehensive.
Trump didn't need that.
No,
Trump didn't need
that's not going to happen. That's why their approval rating is so low for Congress.
When we talk about what the Republicans are doing, and I agree with Harris that it is an election year. And immigration, if I was a Republican, that would be what I was talking about day and night.
Can I ask you a simple question? Is this an emergency, what's happening at the border?
Yes, but this.
Okay,
this,
so in an
this
emergency, what do? You send FEMA and everything you have,
but this is
and you do
not
what
a
you
medical
can from
emergency.
the
Well,
it is a
executive
medical
office.
emergency. I want to weigh in on that. Title 42, according to Robert Redfield, talked to me directly about this, was not just intended for COVID. He had it in mind because of flu. And there's all kinds of public health problems leaking across the border right now. Title 42, Remain in Mexico, as you say, building the wall. But here's the bigger issue. Did you look at this bill? This bill is a road to asylum. Actually, it's appointing more asylum officers to the border. Granted, the goal is to preserve humanitarianism, but in the end, it's just putting a lot more resources, a lot more money on a road to asylum. With Remain in Mexico, you have to prove you're supposed to be here.
All we need to do, Doctor, all we need to do is have asylum not here in the United States.
I didn't
Congress
say that.
can pass legislation
You don't need
changing our
legislation. Did
antiquated
Trump pass
asylum laws.
legislation? Did Trump sign into law legislation? No, he didn't need it. He used executive action.
Right.
Biden could do the same.
The point is, you really trust the people. Granted, the courts are overwhelmed with this issue. But
this legislation would appoint more judges. This legislation would appoint more border patrol agents.
The border patrol people cannot be there to decide who deserves asylum and who should remain in another country. That's not their role, and they're not trained for that. And the bill allows for that.
And I think the legislation operates at a 30,000-foot, stratosphere layer. While underneath that, all of the protections that were wiped away, the 94 executive actions, the laws that aren't being enforced, the trauma that's occurring, the hemorrhaging that's occurring, that no amount of legislation will address until everything in between is addressed in that acute formation. Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.